shot today. I'm doing the production in the.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Press Conference, sponsored by Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. The recap over last weekend, we'll start with our football team hitting the long road to Barton in North Carolina, where they came out victorious 45-0. The consecutive shutouts marks the first time that Delta State football has had back-to-back shutouts in 60 years since 1965. This week, the Statesmen are off before hosting homecoming against Ferrum. So without further ado, I'll bring up head coach Todd Cooley to recap this week and go into our bye week. So, Coach.
Appreciate it. Obviously, happy with the way that we were able to handle that trip. Really pleased with that, and thought we played hard. We didn't start out well. We got to figure that out, but I thought we did a good job protecting the football and turned them over some, and our defense continues to play well, and I think they did a good job stopping the run. Our defense played well against the run on Saturday and kind of made Barton one-dimensional, and I thought that we did a good job covering the pass as well. So that was good to see. I thought our offense was opportunistic and took advantage of some turnovers and some good field position. And big play, big thing right before half. We got in a 2-minute situation. We had one timeout remaining. Because we missed a challenge in the first half, so we lost a challenge. And then we wasted a timeout, but they didn't reset the play clock. We were about to get a delay of game, and so that cost us a timeout. So we only had one timeout and went into a 2-minute situation, and I thought we executed it very well and got down, and Dean Roberts was able to cash in on a field goal right before half, and that was a big turning point because that made it a 4-score game going into halftime, which I thought was big. And then I feel like we did a good job coming out in the second half, and we scored our first drive, and basically I thought at that point kind of put it out of reach, which was good. And, pleased with how we played. Now, we had a lot of guys out. We got to get some guys healthy this bye week. We get a chance to study ourselves for a little bit, which is what we need to do, and not really worry right now about anything but us, and work on us and how much better we can get during this bye week, and that's what we're going to try to do. But number one, getting healthy and doing some things like that. So we're excited about where we are, obviously, right now, but we got to take advantage of this time we've got.
Just looking at the play-by-play, of course, y'all were held scoreless in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
In that second quarter, looked like y'all got an interception right there. First turnover of the game, set up a touchdown drive. How much does it kind of ignite the offense when you turn around and they've been struggling a little bit, then all of a sudden defense gives you a chance to get the ball back? Because it seemed like there were a couple of times during that game where turnovers set y'all up for touchdown drives.
Oh, I think it's big. I think it's complementary football. You're feeding off of one another, and defense setting up the offense capitalizing. That's how you can beat people, and that's good. We want to get that continued, because we've done a good job the last 2 weeks of turning our opposition over and protecting the football. So, and our defense, they scored on a safety. So, to me that counts as a turnover as well. It's points, and I thought that was all good.
Now, as far as this off week coming up, just kind of touch on a little bit, kind of know what kind of the schedule is for the off week.
Sure. Well, we're gonna meet today. We're gonna meet this afternoon. They're gonna lift today. We're gonna have treatment today, and obviously we're on fall break right now. We will practice tomorrow. We're gonna practice tomorrow afternoon. And it's going to be just a fundamental good practice. We're going to take Wednesday off. Our coaches are going to go do some recruiting Wednesday, and we're going to take Wednesday off as kind of a community service type day. We're going to go into some elementary. We're going to play with some elementary school students and things of that nature, and then we're going to come back and practice again on Thursday. and then we're going to have another workout on Friday, and then we're going to give them off next weekend. You know, we haven't had a weekend off since the season started. You know, a full weekend off, and I think they need it. And then we'll get back starting next week on, obviously getting ready for our next opponent, which is Ferrum for homecoming week. So, yeah, that's kind of the schedule and the overview right there of what we're going to do with our players from a football standpoint. Obviously, we've got classes, we've got academic meetings, we've got things that we've got to get on top of. You know, some guys, we missed a lot of class. You know, I mean, we left Thursday at 1, so we got some guys that have missed a lot of class. Not their fault, but with our schedule and everything like that. So we got to get back to it. Is that it?
Going back to the turnover part, I know that early in the year, even when y'all were winning, that was kind of a point of concern.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been like any, you know, kind of a adjustment per se, or is it just more or less been, you know, the effort rewarded?
I mean, nothing's changed. I think that we continuously talk about ball security and how we want to hold a football. We talk to our quarterbacks about making good decisions, receivers catching the football. You know, that doesn't change from as far as that goes. I mean, we still work turnover circuit and practice with our defense every day. You know, it's just, I think we're starting to play a little bit better football right now, and we are playing hard. And when you play hard and you're just playing, you know, with decent fundamentals, good things are going to happen. You know, the thing that we've got to continue to work on, which, you know, is our penalties. You know, our penalties. Seemed like every special teams play the other day, we had a penalty on it. And it, you know, when we were in our return segment, you know, punt return, we got a penalty. A kickoff return, we're getting penalties. Those things we've got to improve upon. You know, we got some false starts. We didn't get in a great rhythm offensively early in the game. There's some, I don't know, I've coached a long time, you know, receiver being on the ball, okay, they know when to be on and when to be off, but, you know, there was some discrepancies with, I guess, how their conference, I'm trying to think of the right word here, how they clarify if you're on or off. And the explanation that I have is totally different than any explanation I'd ever heard. So, coached 26 years, really never had that explanation. So there was some alignment issues, I would say, of something to being on the line of scrimmage or off the line of scrimmage, which it was a little different for us. So I think that slowed us down a little bit because we were checking to make sure that we were on the line of scrimmage and trying to get that confirmation to make sure that we were aligned properly. And one time we thought we were, and we got a flag because we weren't, and it was just it was kind of choppy. You know, the first half took like 2 hours. It was choppy football. We had a lot of things happen, but they're good situations for us to coach from and learn from. But, yeah, it was just a little different, kind of slowed us down a little bit. I think the penalties, you know, that's one good thing about it. I think defensively, a couple weeks ago we said, you know, let's not get penalties. Let's not give them these 15-yarders and things of that nature. And we've cut them out pretty good. Now we got to cut them out offensively, you know, and on special teams. So keep working it that way. And, you know, it's like everybody says, you know, do you want to go to a bye week? Do you not? This team needs a bye week. We need a bye week. We need to rest, and we need to get back full throttle, healthy, going down the stretch. Because October, November, man, that's when it comes down to it, and we're in that now. So we got to be playing our best football moving forward. So.
Of course, this long stretch without a conference game, what has that kind of been like? Mentality standpoint, or do the potential regional rankings, does that kind of?
Yeah, that's what you sell them on. That's a great question. You know, we don't have a conference game for another couple of weeks or 3 weeks or however long it is, but you only get to play 3 of them. So all these regional games, we got to treat them like a conference game, and you got to try to win as many of those as you can, obviously. But we got our saying around here, man, the biggest game of the year is the one we're playing that week. And that's kind of how, because it's the only one we get to play that week, that certain week. So right now we don't get to play a game this week, but that's okay. We can still work on us and get better this week. And I think that's what this team is trying to do week in and week out, is just get better. And I think that's a good thing if you can actually do that. And I think in times and there's spots that we've gotten better, and there's spots we still got to work on. So we're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So
round game, you're still able to get, I think, 6 rushing touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah.
Just talk about the work of those guys when they get in those types of situations.
Well, I think they did a good job. Running backs did a good job of finding the end zone. Our O-line did a good job of taking care of the first level for the most part all day. There were some guys that are going to be free, and we knew that because we were running into loaded boxes a little bit on Saturday. But it is what it is. You got to make guys miss. You got to break tackles, and I always said that if you got a run game, then you can travel and play better football. And our run game is getting better, but we've got a long ways to go still.
You mentioned having injury issues on the offensive end too. I mean, no Lawrence Armstrong last weekend. One receiver in my mind looked like he stepped up and did a really good job with Jaden Gibson.
Yeah. Jaden's come a long way the last couple of weeks. Jaden was a guy that, man, Jaden's been through it all here. I mean, he's been coached hard. He's battled confidence issues, all that, but he always kept working. He always kept working, always kept believing. And to see him start to pay off on the field is beautiful. It's gorgeous. And such a humble guy, just wants to win, wants to help his team win. And, I'm really happy for him because he puts in hours and hours of work. He's always burning the jugs machine up downstairs, and he's always wanting to watch extra film. And, that's fun when it starts to pay off for a guy like that. And it's not a secret. I mean, he's a process guy. And Jaden's a process guy. He loves the process of it all. And to see him start to get paid, so to speak, get the benefits of all of his hard work, that's nice. And that's reaffirming to what I believe in, being a process-oriented coach. So, well, I appreciate y'all's time. Go Statesman. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Once again, Statesmen are on bye week this week. No games this Saturday. They'll follow up next Saturday with a game home against Ferrum College. Up next, we got men's soccer, who played on the road at Mississippi College Friday, fell 3-1. Goal from Braden Taylor, another game with a goal from Braden Taylor. So they're also off this week. They're also on a bye week. So without further ado, I'll bring up Austin Jackman.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Another tough one on Friday. I think this bye week comes at a good time. We're a little banged up. Guys had the weekend off. We'll train for a little bit this week, and then they'll have this upcoming weekend off, and we'll get back after it on a week from today. So without further ado, I'll open it up to any questions.
As far as just kind of the pace of the game with MC, y'all were down, 1-0 at the half. I think y'all battled, y'all get a goal, and of course they get a couple of more. Just kind of talk about the pace of play, because it seems like y'all definitely play hard enough against them.
Yeah. Go down 1-0, make some adjustments at halftime, come out really strong, get a goal to make it 1-1, then concede another one, and then have a chance to make it 2-2, drag a shot wide, and then, just concede with about 10 minutes left to make it 3-1. At that point, game's pretty much wrapped up. So can't fault the effort. It's just the mental lapses of switching off, and at this level you can't switch off. So as a staff, we've got to do a better job of preparing guys and getting them ready for those moments, and hopefully can turn the ship around. So
just talk about just kind of the off week. It'll be, y'all won't play again until the 17th. Just talk about just kind of the plans there. I mean, I know y'all probably gonna take some time off, but do y'all do in practice? Is this a time where y'all able to work on more just regular instruction? What's kind of the structure of practice going to be for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so we'll take the next. Like I said, we'll train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Take some time to adjust some things, figure out what hasn't been working, make some adjustments on that. Then we'll see the guys again on Monday, give them the weekend off. I mean, I know Coach Cooley said the same thing. We're a little banged up right now. Got guys playing out of position, trying to figure out who can play up top for us, all that good stuff. So I think the bye week comes at a good time. Keep the spirits high and training the next couple days, and then hopefully get everyone back starting next Monday. So
from a morale standpoint, what can some extra time off do? As far as does it kind of help them bond a little bit, or what are kind of the benefits of kind of the extra time off?
Yeah, hopefully it's good for the guys. Hopefully some of them got out of Cleveland this past weekend and then do the same this upcoming weekend. Just it's good to get away from things for a little bit. But the morale in the group's grade A. Like, can't complain about that. Still plenty of the season left, and I think there's 18 points or something left to play for. And if you look at a league table, we're definitely still in it. Just I think it's the getting the one. I think getting the first win, and things will hopefully start rolling from there.
When you look at the last few weeks, when you see the morale high, how does that make you feel as a coach to know that these guys still believe?
I mean, it's pretty much all you can ask for. I think the message has been pretty clear that no one's coming into the room and saving us. It's up to 29 players and 3 coaches, strength coach and a trainer to turn this ship around, and I think we understand that. So it's a place we've kind of been the last couple of years, and we've just got to keep working and find our way out of it. But can't fault the morale. Like, that's guys are still wanting to come to training. I think it's a credit to kind of the environment we've created the last couple seasons, and we're just gonna put our head down and keep going. So appreciate everyone's time. Go Statesman.
Thank you, Coach Jackman. Big weekend for Lady Statesmen on the road at Mississippi College. It was a historic win for Lady Statesmen. It's their first time beating the Choctaws down in Clinton, Mississippi. This weekend is another big match for your Lady Statesmen here at Delta Field on Saturday afternoon at 1 as they face Montevallo. It's 2 very, very, very good soccer programs right now. But without further ado, to recap this past weekend and preview this weekend, I'll bring up head coach Chloe King.
Yeah, thank you, Braden. Obviously, huge win for the program, huge win for momentum, and yeah, just really proud of the girls and their effort getting us back into that game and being able to bring home the 3 points on Saturday. But we can't help but look ahead to another huge game this coming Saturday. So yeah, without further ado, I'll open it up to questions.
Now, of course, y'all went for a while where y'all were stopping people, but just couldn't get that goal in. Now, it's like, of course, y'all beat Christian Brothers 7-0 the week before. Y'all come into game against Mississippi College. I think they led 1-0 at halftime. Just talk about where their mindset is, because they were able to late in the second half come back and score the 2 goals to put them over the top.
Yeah, I think when you look at the first half of that game versus MC, that's probably up there with some of our worst 45 minutes of the season. But we knew at half time that when you're 1-0 down, like you're still in the game, and all right, there's nothing we can do about that last 45, but what can we do better in the second 45? And for me, it just came down to desire, willingness to win, and just doing whatever we needed to do to win. And like for me, that's playing into our strengths and what we're good at, and that's where the 2 goals came from. And obviously credit to Casey, she put that shot like it was an absolute rocket into the top corner, and Millie's been working really hard all throughout, the fall, but prior to that to be ready, and it's great for her to see her finally being able to take these chances and score some goals for the team.
See in the standings, I see y'all are just 1 point out of that top 4 slot.
Yep.
And of course, one of the few still unbeaten in conference, going up against Montevallo this weekend. How much more confidence do the girls have? Because it seems like they have to be believing that they could be, in the running to be at the top of the conference.
Yeah, I think that was our goals coming into the season. I think the girls had lofty goals, lofty ambitions, and now we're walking the walk. We're right in there in the mix. We're unbeaten, maybe tied a couple of games more than what we'd have liked to, but we're still unbeaten. We've conceded the least amount of goals in conference play, so they're things that we can take a lot of confidence from. And I think, it just sets up a really, really exciting game on Saturday. I think Montevallo are a very good team, a team and a coaching staff that I have a lot of respect for, but that doesn't mean to say that we can't go and get a result this weekend against that team, and I fully believe that we can get a positive result come Saturday afternoon.
How just huge is it for the program to right now, you've got this game coming up, and it's one that could kind of not only put you in the top 4, but maybe continue to get to that top 1, which I know everybody wants to get to. How big is it knowing that the girls can see that on the horizon?
Yeah, I think it's obviously a huge game right now when you look at it. It's 2 of the best teams in conference facing up against each other, but there's still 6 more games after that too. So don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves and, let this be a defining moment when there's still a lot to play for. And I think when you look at the GSC, like, anyone can compete with anyone on a given day. So yes, this is probably our toughest test of the season so far, but we've still got big games coming up after that, and it's how do we take the maximum points in every game. And it's right now it's just continuing to believe that we are a team that can do this. And for me, it's let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Like, let's just play the next game and try and do our best. And obviously for us as a coaching staff, we're trying to prepare the team as best we can to face that game. So it's definitely exciting, but we don't want to look too far ahead.
What is it about Montevallo that kind of makes them strong?
I think it's the depth in their roster. I think they have some very, very good midfield players that are just so creative for them and make things happen. Their ability to score goals and win games is something that is very impressive. And I think they just kind of have that. They just can be cutthroat when they need to be, and they can turn it on. They can score goals, and they're like us. They're not too bad at not conceding goals. So I think they're a well coached program. I think they have a lot of things that we're striving for within our program. So for me, it's just a lot of respect to them, but not too much respect as to where they can come here and expect to get 3 points on Saturday afternoon.
Now, going against a team like Montevallo, again, earlier in the year it was 0-0-0-0. Now that the girls have kind of gotten over that point a little bit, it's got to be a lot different from the mindset going into a game where y'all have been winning instead of where y'all have been tying.
Yeah, I think it's, in the last 2 games we've found a way to win, and maybe that was the edge that we were lacking kind of initially. And at the start of the season, obviously we had the moments where we conceded late on, and we've moved through that, and now it's finding that extra edge to go and win a game. So I think it's continuing to have that. I think I'd take any team here at home. I think we can beat anyone at home. Like, we're unbeaten in conference here all through last season and obviously still into this season. So I think it's just having the belief and the confidence that we can play 90 minutes, we can execute and get the job done, get over the line and get 3 points.
How huge would it be to have a big crowd out there Saturday?
Yeah, that is massive for us right now. I think there's not many times on this campus that we only have a women's sport at home over the weekend. So I think it's huge that we can hopefully get a big crowd out there. We want it's going to be our breast cancer awareness game. We want it to be pink out, and we just encourage everybody to come out and not only support our team but also support a good cause with the Delta Cotton Bells is who we're going to be trying to raise some money for, while also doing what we're trying to do on the field as well. So yeah, thank you. If you have time and you're available on Sunday, we would really, really appreciate your support. 1 p.m. at Delta Field. Go Lady Statesmen. Thank you.
This is correct, Coach. It's Saturday at 11. We're so used to playing Saturday at 1, excuse me, but we'll be there at 11 getting stuff set up. But Saturday at 1 o'clock, the Lady Statesmen, big match against Montevallo. The only things we really got this week is got men's golf on the road right now at Cameron, along with our men's and swim dive programs playing Friday and Saturday at Arkansas, Little Rock, and a quad meet. Excuse me. Only home match we got this week is our Lady Statesmen soccer and a big match against Montevallo this week at 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon at Delta Field. So if you got any plans, please show up for the Lady Statesmen. It's a big match for them. Hope everybody has a good rest of their week. And as always, let's go Statesmen.